Good morning, everyone. Let's just get a handheld mic here. Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Brendan Cuthbertson, as you've heard already, and I wanted to say thank you for having me here today. And I'm very excited about sharing some of the innovations we're seeing as Cisco across the industry. I think in the middle of COVID, we saw a massive uptick, as mentioned, with the online digital movement. But I still think we have quite a long way to go. If we look at where we've been in the last several years, it was interesting. Video conferencing was quite prolific. Cisco had significant video conferencing capabilities, but the adoption wasn't there. And it took COVID for people to start adopting video conferencing. And I think we're sitting in a similar situation when it comes to digital retail, because specifically in South Africa, I think we've got a very strong focus with retailers around cost containment. And the reality is, cost containment, value for money is always going to be important at our customers, but it is not everything. And there will be disruption coming to the retail space in South Africa, and I think it's going to be coming soon. I think we're at that point, we're at the tipping point for it. So, let's begin with what's going on in retail. Well, as mentioned, online retailers are accelerating. There is going to be a lot more digital retail out there, and you get one shot at it. We're also seeing people talking about wanting to go green. You know, people want to buy from companies that today are taking the environment into account. And it's really important that you start your planning looking at it that way. Physical stores are holding new and different approaches to how people engage with their customers. So sensors, devices, IoT devices are expanding exponentially. This is putting huge pressure on IT departments, and a lot of them are not coping with the growth of IoT within their space. And as we know, data, big data is a huge thing today. People are using big data, and they are trying to find a way to get actionable, intelligent data that they can understand their customers' behaviors. And that is what data is going to be used for. So data at the moment, big data is coming through, edge computing is starting to be able to take that data and pick the parts of data that you need. And that is something we'll talk a bit more about later. And innovation. I think we've talked about innovation a lot in the past several years, but that innovation hasn't filtered through in every retailer. And a big part of the problem that I believe we have in the retail space, IT and business are not always talking. So you've got to get IT and business talking. Most IT departments, they get scared when marketing comes along and says, we want to do this campaign. But say, oh, how are we going to kick that off? But it's all about getting them talking and understanding collectively what the strategy is and how you build that infrastructure to be able to deliver those services. So what are shoppers asking for? As you can see here, I've purposely left off cost, okay? Because it goes without saying, you have to bring value for money. But more importantly, people are looking for convenience. They want to know that they can get something quickly. They are also talking more about a high quality customer experience. You give a bad customer experience, you will not keep that client. I know a large retailer, well, I say retailer, but florist, online florist, similar story. I used to always order flowers for Valentine's Days. Whenever I needed to send flowers, I'd do it then. But I've had a few bad experiences. So what do? I've stopped using it. I look at other angles to go for. So especially when you're in the e-commerce space, you really get one shot to impress. And in a recent survey, 57% of people said they will only give retailers one shot to impress. And if they don't work, they'll delete the app and they won't use it anymore. So it's really important that you build the infrastructure. We've talked about personal recommendations, or I haven't spoken about personal recommendations. But personal recommendations is really understanding the psyche of your customer. We've got to get into their mind share. And I'll go into a few things near the end of my presentation, which I think really is about understanding what a customer needs and being able to adapt on the fly. So, as a lot of you would know, we've got the traditional 4 Ps being product, price, promotion, and place. We're evolving from that, and the new 4 Ps that we see is personalization, prediction, precision, and process automation. So really we're looking at the what, where, when, where, and how to respond. And that how to respond is the critical side of it. You've got to be able to respond to your customers' needs when you understand their needs. This is a video that I wanted to share, and I've got a few videos that I'm going to show you today, but this video is really about a retailer who is using social media, an application on their customers' phones, and location-based services to really drive brand awareness. And they got a lot of hype around it, and I'll let the video play now.
Here I am in the Nike store. There he is. He's getting the message. There's a promotion for BPAC. I think so. Yeah, we got him.
Sick bubble gum!
Meatpack is the trendiest shoe store in Guatemala, a brand known for its edgy, cutting style and a store known for its unique discounts in limited edition kicks including brands like Adidas, Nike and Reebok. An icon for the sneakerhead subculture with over 60,000 fans on their fan page in less than a year. They needed to launch a new promotion that lived up to their hardcore fans, an innovative way to earn your discount. We created Hijack, an enhancement for the official Meatpack app used by our customers. Using GPS tracking technology that marks every competitor's store of the brand sold at Meatpack. So every time one of our sneakerheads enters one of the stores, it triggers a special notice with a promotion. Hijack sends an alert to the person's mobile with a discount that starts at 99% and decreases by 1% every second that goes by, making the countdown stop until you reach our store. More than 600 customers were hijacked from the competitors in a week. One customer, Pedro Rodriguez, got a record-breaking 89% discount. This is the first promo campaign that started the sale in the competitors' stores.
So, hugely innovative. I think that's brilliant. What's amazing is that video is 10 years old. So this is not new. It's been here for a long time. So why are we not seeing more of this type of innovation? And I think that this is really something that if the current retailers don't start looking at how they can really innovate, there will be a disruptor coming in. You know what's happening. We know the international guys are coming out and they're looking to break into the African market, and South Africa is where they're going to do it. So, question around what are the leaders doing? So it's really interesting when you start looking at the different leaders in the markets. If you look at the likes of Walmart and Amazon, Walmart have recently submitted a patent that measures, for a connected shopping cart that measures emotional state, heart rate, stress levels, and even how fast you're moving through their store. Amazon, a similar patent, they've gone for voice-based determination. And really, what does that mean? Why are they doing this? Because they're trying to understand the customer's psyche. You'll see in a later video, I'll show you around around a store of the future that we did. The big thing that they're looking at is dwell time. Think of it this way, when you see a customer, if you can work out that a customer has been standing in front of an item, they've taken it off the shelf, they've tried it on, or they've put it up against the mirror, they put it back, and they've stayed there for a few minutes, and then they walk out the store and they haven't spent. With that kind of analytics, you know that you've lost that customer because they've potentially gone somewhere else. So you can address it in the future. If you have 10 customers doing that, you can say, well, maybe we need to put an offer on. Maybe it needs to have a 10% discount. There might be some minor thing that you can change, and that would allow the customer to go and say, here you go, I'm going to spend my money in your store. So, bringing retail together, we at Cisco do see ourselves as customers' nervous system. You have to have the platform to build on. We connect the edge to the cloud, enabling corporate reflexes when you sense, analyze, and respond. It's so important that is the new way that retail is going, allowing companies to learn and adapt on the fly with end-to-end security. Now, how many people here know that Cisco does security? Probably not a lot. And if I had to ask you in a survey to say who is the biggest cybersecurity vendor in the world, you'd probably put a whole lot of other names, but it's Cisco. Cisco is the largest cybersecurity vendor in the world. We're not known for it, because we're known for networking. But the reality is this isn't something that happened by accident. Cisco has consistently, over the last 10 years, been building up its security portfolio to become an end-to-end security provider to all of our customers. And we always believed that the network, the internet was built on Cisco. 85% of all traffic touches a Cisco device somewhere in the world. So that's the best place to start looking at your security. And that's what Cisco has done. So we really are very focused on providing that. But we also understand that you need partners. Partnerships are such an important thing these days. And we have a lot of ecosystem partners that we work with and that are on our store, and you're able to access them. So here's an example of a partnership that we have with Vienna, which is a Meld CX product. Now, Meld CX and Vienna are on the Cisco Meraki marketplace. Now, for those of you who don't know what Cisco Meraki is, it's a Cisco product. It's a Wi-Fi solution that provides location-based services. So what we saw in that hijack video, you could do that with Meraki. But what Vienna does is it takes the people counting to a new level. So I've got another video here. It's a short video just to show you how they can take it to the next level and the insights you can get from just looking at a customer's shoes, the hat that they're wearing, anything along those lines. Let's have a look.
Imagine that you can measure physical spaces like a website and see how people interact with the physical world. Discover how they shop, work, play, and learn. Vision Analytics opens you up to a world of data, translating numbers into consumable insights. With Vienna, business intelligence can lead to surprising ideas that empower you and your teams to make quick decisions backed by facts. Audience measurement allows you to understand customer intent through advanced face detection and mapping. Using completely anonymous data metrics, not only age, gender, mood and attention, but also shirts, shoes, bags and caps, you can discover a vast array of insights about who walks into your store. Content effectiveness tells you what your customers like, what grabs their attention, and what keeps them interested, so you know which of your displays have the best ROI. Programmatic automation empowers you to deliver the most relevant content to the right audience at the right moment. Vienna, showing you how people interact with the physical world. Vienna, a Meld CX product.
So there's an ecosystem partner that is bringing some real value, and they're leveraging the Cisco, the Meraki Wi-Fi devices, and then also the Meraki cameras. Now, I'd ask you, when we have a break, go next door, meet our Meraki team. We have a whole lot of Cisco experts that'll be here today, and they can show you a bit more detail, some more demonstrations around what our solutions can do. We have some App Dynamics teams there, and I'll tell you a bit more about our App Dynamics products. But it's really exciting what can be achieved these days. And as long as you've got the right partnership and the right foundation, you'll be in the situation to be able to do this. And I think this is where we look at it. If you look up here, the availability of digital capabilities is dependent on the network as a platform. But look at the complexity. There's huge complexity coming, and this is what scares IT departments. I know it does, because they have to keep the lights on. They work through Black Friday and the festive season, and most of them don't sleep during that period because it's such a stressful time. But at the end of the day, how can you build on that complexity without having the right foundation? And that's what we're saying. You need to build that network as a platform, and you need to have that foundation be able to deliver these services to your customers. And this is where we are as Cisco. We currently hold the #1 market share in all of these technology spaces globally. Now that's a huge thing for a company to be able to do. We service 98% of Fortune 500 companies, and the Cisco team and I were having a debate this morning because some of them believe it's actually 100%, and so we'll say 98% to be safe, but I think it's 100% of the top 100. So, this doesn't happen by accident. And people say, well, you know what, Cisco, you're just a big Goliath and you think that you guys are the best in the market. The reason why we are #1 is Cisco has had a deliberate strategy for the last 20 years. We innovate, we drive innovation. But we also know that innovation comes from other companies at times. And when that innovation comes from other companies, we acquire and we integrate. And when we acquire and integrate, we ensure, it's a strategy of Cisco to make sure that we're in the top 1 or 2 companies in the world in any technology we stay in. And it's very deliberate, and it's a strong strategy that we have. When you start looking at the application, there is so much going on in the application. If you think about it, a user, just a simple user, and I'm going to use an example that I think we'd all relate to, a Takealot. You've got the application on the phone, okay? So how does the IT department know that the person using the phone has updated their firmware? You don't know that. How does the person, if that person is having a bad experience, do you know whether it's their Wi-Fi network, whether it's your network, whether it's the internet, or whether it's the cloud or the data center? There are so many dependencies that you do not control as a customer. And this is where Cisco has developed, and again, as I said, we've developed, we've innovated, and we've acquired the best of breed to build out what we call Cisco's full stack observability. And with full stack observability, there are 3 primary products in that: Cisco AppDynamics, Cisco Intersight, and Cisco Thousand Eyes. Now, with full stack observability, it gives you that observability from the user, through the network, into the cloud, down to the data center, service providers everywhere. And it's that type of visibility you need with actionable insights and artificial intelligence and machine learning that addresses it or fixes problems before they start. And you can see there, an executive from Waitrose said, "We used to be a paramedic, now we are a brain surgeon." And that's the way of the future. We are all in IT have to become brain surgeons. If you're in an e-commerce space, you need to be a brain surgeon. You need to know what's slowing down the application, because you can't afford for your customer to delete that app and move to another one. And there's going to be a lot more competition in the market. The team, there's a lot of really smart guys there, they're the smarter guys than me, and they can talk to you about it and show you what we've done, because there's a lot more that we've done. So I think, it's interesting to see that. Yes, not every company is going to move to that level right now, but look at it now when you walk through any supermarket, any big retailer. How many times do you get free Wi-Fi? You don't see it a lot. Overseas, you see it a bit more, but globally, it's just that kind of thing is quite a base level technology offer. And once you start offering that and you start getting those insights, remember, the minute someone connects to a Wi-Fi device, you can see that person. And they don't even have to be connected to the Wi-Fi device. They don't have to connect to your Wi-Fi. Immediately, the Wi-Fi device picks up any device around. So you can see foot counts and those kind of things. But it really is, companies have to start looking at how can we bring a different service level? How can we communicate with our customers? And, how many of you have heard of ChatGPT or used it? Okay, so hot topic at the moment. It's been out in the market since November, very new. OpenAI developed it. And for those of you who don't know what ChatGPT is, it's a chatbot that interacts with you in a conversational way. So basically, you can ask the chatbot a question, it'll come back with an answer. If you don't like the answer, you can say, "I don't like that answer," and it'll come back with another answer. It basically looks across the internet. And I saw an article actually just last night. It was something about, there was some law degree, and they went and got the chatbot to do the tests, and they passed the law degree. And they say you can't, it's not plagiarism because it pulls information all across the internet from so many different sources that it doesn't become plagiarism. So this is something of the future, and it's a bit of fun, but I asked the question, tell me the history of Walmart in Shakespearean. And it came back, within 10 seconds, it came back, "Aye, 'tis a tale of grandeur and glory. In the days of oldeth, a bold Sam Walton didst venture forth to openeth his variety store in Arkansas." I didn't do well in Shakespeare at school, and had I had this, I might have passed it. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. But what's the application for retail? How would this work? Now, I know my wife, she gets home from work and she says, "Oh, what are we going to do for dinner?" She stops at the supermarket, and it's the most frustrating thing for her. What do the family want for dinner tonight? And she'll walk into the shop and she'll go and she'll pick something, it'll be the same thing. So I did something else. I asked a question. Give me a food recipe with the following base ingredients: chicken pieces, fresh pineapple, and tomatoes. I deliberately picked what I didn't know what you could make with that, because it's not a very nice selection of raw ingredients. And within 10 seconds, it came back with an answer. And the answer was basically, have you heard of Hawaiian chicken skewers? Now, can you imagine when you have a digital store, if you have a chatbot on each aisle, and people can go along and say, "Oh, I saw a fresh chicken there, that looks lovely. Oh, some really nice pineapples." They put it in, they go, "What can I make for dinner?" And you ask the question. And suddenly it comes back with a really nice recipe. And you can ask the chatbot for some other recommendations. And if you link it to your store, when you've brought in fresh salmon, you can start pushing to those people. Think about your loyalty cards or an application on the phone where you just tap the sensor and that recipe gets sent straight to your phone. And then it comes back and says, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Cuthbertson, did you know we have black oyster catcher Sauvignon Blanc? A crisp glass of white wine would go perfectly with your skewers. And they're on special, 10% off." Well, I'll go there. And by the way, have you thought of dessert? Because we've got fresh donuts, which are half price off because you're shopping after 7 p.m. These are the kind of interactions that people want to have. And these are the kind of interactions that we're going to see in the future. And ultimately, I think the first guys that bring these types of services to the market will truly provide, or go back to the new P's of personalization, prediction, precision, and process automation. They're going to take this market by storm. And not just here, globally and across Africa. And this technology is here today. It's available, but you have to build the right platform. And it has to be secure. And this is why we think Cisco, we can provide that. We know we can provide that. And we've provided it to several customers. In fact, Pi City in South Africa, they went and they put in Cisco Meraki. And an ex-McKinsey consultant, software writer, because we've got open APIs, went and wrote software so that they could, in every store, they could take their foot count, they could analyze, they could tell the store manager, "Start cooking pepper steak pies now, because this is when the rush comes." You can connect it to the weather app to say, "You know what, today is a cold day, so actually put soups on the table," whatever it is. So there's a lot of this availability today out there, but people are not adopting it yet. And it's going to be that one disruptor that comes in and drives us. So please, take some time later, go and visit the Cisco stand next door, go visit the team. There's a lot of really smart guys there. They're the smarter guys than me. And they can talk to you about it and show you what we've done, because there's a lot more that we've done that we couldn't cover in this short presentation. So thank you for your time.